YouTube, how we doing? Pass the prop back here again. It is Monday's show. We got a recap. Not too much we can do about NFL here for a little while. Obviously, what do we got? 2 weeks before Super Bowl Sunday, so we got a little bit of time, but we'll talk some recap stuff, talk the games, and then got an NBA bet for you guys ready for today. So join as always by my guy Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Yesterday could have went a little bit better, from betting perspective, from a team fandom perspective. Obviously, my Commanders have exited the playoffs after a very fun season. They're no longer in contention. So, it's hard to be happy after that, but we got some great football this weekend. Obviously, we just saw a fantastic game between the Chiefs and the Bills. One of those that everyone's kind of calling it the Super Bowl. You can say what you will there, but to me, those are the two best teams in football. So getting to see them square off and it'd be an awesome game, lived up to expectation for sure.
Yeah. We'll talk refs and stuff in a little bit, but we'll kind of, I know everybody's going to want to talk about that because I'm seeing people call into different shows and everything here too. So it's kind of interesting to hear all that. But yeah, we can kind of get that game out of the way. We'll get that game out first because obviously the one I'm sure everybody wants to kind of recap is that crazy game, man. That was a wild one. We'll get to our recap right now. We got about 11 of you guys in here first 2 minutes. Appreciate you guys for joining us. I'll start with mine. First one, Eckler. Unfortunately, I should have just taken the receptions on the show. I did have his 5 catches at like plus 160 as another bet. Man, I should have just rolled with the plus money on that one because they did exactly what we thought. They'd be able to stop the run. Did have a Brian Robinson under ticket, which was nice. He had a couple of good ones in the early portion of the game. Eckler just couldn't get anything going there. Shout out to the Eagles for getting a couple fumbles on them too. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever played football, it's like the worst position ever where you're like halfway down and you're starting to get back up. There ain't no way, man. There's no way you're holding on to that ball if someone comes at you. Had a few instances of that when I played a while back. So, yeah, tough for him. I love Eckler, but, just a tough spot for him. And, couldn't make anything happen.
Yeah, unlucky. I was on Eckler too. I had both receiving and reception, so I kind of ended up break even. They canceled each other out there a little bit, but he should have had it. It was pretty frustrating.
Yeah, no, it was what do you have? 8 targets? I think he was the second leading target guy, second maybe.
Like Ertz, obviously number 1, but after
Ertz tried to get me through to my Super Bowl in my best ball. In my best ball league, I ended up playing a guy who had a full lineup. So that was impossible, but I had Ertz. Kelsey really fucked me. If he would have done anything, I would have been fine. I had Ertz. I had Saquon. I had a couple other guys show out there too, but it was a tough one there for me exiting there. So none of them are alive heading into the Super Bowl. I just didn't have any. I didn't have any full. It's impossible to full stack the Eagles with Hurts and Barkley. It was just impossible for you to get both with them going so high. And then we'll go back to this one here as we talk about Saquon.
Yeah, no dice, right? I think it would have had 4 yards, ended with 1 catch or something. I think even Gainwell had a couple catches during that little stretch.
Yeah, I think there was
where he was hurt
3 when he was doing his little calf thing. Theragun.
Yeah,
2 or 3 catches.
That wasn't fun. But this is a miss. They got up. That's what I kind of said. The 1 game script where Saquon probably doesn't go over as if they go up like crazy. Had some chances, but no dice on this one. I feel good. I would have ran it back, obviously, but they got their asses beat. There wasn't any need for it. And then when there were passing downs, it was to fucking Kenny Gainwell who was out there because I think Barkley was banged up, right? I mean, he had to be with the calf gun and all that stuff. So unlucky.
Yeah, I think I gotta bring this up too. Is what are the odds that Saquon Barkley gets that 60-yard run? I still think he stayed underneath his prop in the full game. I believe he did cash the under. I saw a lot of people betting the over, and it still kept going up higher. And after that first one, you're like, "Oh damn, is he actually going to do this?" Ended up with 120 and missed by 10 yards. Like I'm pretty sure it closed at like 130, 129, or whatever it was, and very easily cashed. It was astonishing to see how well he did in that game. And it's that's what I'm saying. When we talked on the show, it's like, how do you realistically bet that? Bet the straight number, because you got to bet on him getting another bomb, and then obviously you get the long shot numbers. But man, it was the highest number I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, all week long, whenever someone asked me, I said, just take longest rush. Just take, like, if you think he's going to get 130 rushing yards, how does he not get a fucking 26-yard run? That was my thought the whole week, and it ended up being true. So I had him 2 touchdowns, and I had longest rush, and I had receiving. So I got a little bit of it, obviously, but yeah, it didn't make it hurt less. That first run to start the game, that was demoralizing, man. I mean, that was, as a fan of the other team, you're just like stabbed in the heart as soon as he does that.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I'll head to my other one. Kelsey got me. I think he got a lot of people. Really wasn't involved at all. Even targets wise, really wasn't involved at all. I guess I'd rather bet Kelsey than Pacheco, because Pacheco barely touched the fucking ball. And then when they need him at the end of the game, they fucking put P. Ryan in to ice that shit. What are the odds of that, man? Kansas City, just like the inevitable wall, man. You can't get past them. We'll talk about all the stuff here in a little bit, but man, dude, Kelsey just didn't do anything. Even in his opportunities, they were doing a good job. They were grabbing his ass. I think he drew like 4 penalties, but didn't get anything done there.
Yeah, I even live bet Kelsey pretty big at 29.5 receiving yards, thinking I got a fucking steal in there, and no dice, obviously, but my guy, at least the next prop did end up cashing, thanks to Kelsey not doing shit, was my guy Xavier Worthy, who did do something, right? I mean, that was at least the one blessing in this game of he made it look easy. Short yardage stuff, exactly what we talked about, easy screens. And spoiler alert, I don't think it's going to be any different in the Super Bowl. I'm going probably right back to the well here. So shout out Xavier Worthy. The guy is an absolute stud, and he's not really getting still as much credit as he deserves out there week in and week out.
Yeah, no, I'm interested to see what the lines are for him in this game after coming off 2 pretty big ones over his last 2. So. I guess we can start talking some of the stuff from the weekend. I know we gotta have a little quicker show today. This obviously, I know you got some stuff doing. I'm sure we'll talk about that towards the end. But what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the whole stuff about the refs and everything in that Bills game? What was your thoughts there?
I mean, to me, obviously, it seems like they got that call wrong on Josh Allen getting the first down where, both of them were arguing. My takeaway is pretty simple. We got 2 7-year-old guys out there arguing, trying to decide the fate of the universe. And the reason they can't overturn the call is because they respect the call on the field, right? We got to get rid of this. The call on the field matters more than anything thing, right? Because clearly these guys don't know more than the people with the super cameras and the super computers watching a couple states away. You know what I mean? So I don't know why you can't overturn that from above. You know what I mean? Because what happens in all these things, you hear them interview the referee goes, you know what? I think he got it, but is it enough to overturn the call on the field? That's always the barrier. That's always the barrier. And for me, it seems like, especially in spotting the ball, I mean, these guys are fucking guessing. Truly, these guys are guessing. You know what I mean? So let's let the computers and the cameras take over a little bit more in those situations. But I feel that way about all sports. I feel that way. I feel we need more intervention from the booth. We need more of these expedited reviews, stuff like that. But did that swing the course of the game? It definitely had an impact on it. But I don't know. If you're a Bills fan, I feel like you got to take the loss on the chin here, or Bills better. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you were robbed. There were a lot of opportunities to win the game, and they couldn't get the job done. So great game. Referees are always going to be involved in some way or another, but I don't think it changed the course of the game.
Yeah, it just sucked it happened in that spot. It was a 4th down, dude. I mean,
yeah.
I guess you can say one play doesn't change the game, but definitely fucking switched
it. Sure. That's fair.
They got the ball back in there. Obviously, their defense showed up on that drive, but man, dude, you're getting that ball on the Chiefs 40. You're getting the ball on the Chiefs 40, and I'm like, I just don't understand how this place NFL makes all this fucking money, And I'm watching. I watched the Australian Open because it was on at the gym, and I'm watching this fucker hit a ball 180 miles an hour. And they can slow down that thing to a camera and point you right to where that ball fucking hit it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I know it's different because they only have to put a camera on those little areas. That's obviously the thing. But you're gonna tell me tennis has made as much money as the NFL has? I'm sure they can fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? That's my issue, dude. Is like they got so much goddamn money, and dude, how can these guys be 2 yards off? They were off of each other's line by 2 yards on a 1 yard play. How is one guy a full yard past the 40, and the other guy is holding it a full ball length behind the line? Like how are like I don't understand that. You're both looking at the same thing. You're the top of the top in this one.
Yeah.
And you missed 2 yards?
Yeah. And I mean, as a Chiefs better, I'm like, hey, it's 50-50, you know, like it go either way. But it was definitely a bad break. And like you said, seeing the refs even argue about it on the field, it's like, what are we doing here? Like one guy's got it, one guy doesn't. Like this seems like one that, you know, should have probably went to the Bills right there. The booth should have been able to kind of overrule, but unfortunately, no dice. It worked out well for Chiefs bettors. And hey, I'm feeling good back in Patty Mahomes. You know, it never hurts. I'm curious what you think about the other controversy. Ben Solek, a big numbers guy over at ESPN, posted the video of the last play where Kincaid drops it. And his argument,
flag on the field, and they pulled it when they saw he dropped it.
Well, no. His thing was that ball should have went to Shakir. I don't know if you saw this, where Shakir was on the little side route, and there have been like huge arguments, like all more. I saw Fitzpatrick, like all the ESPN kind of people are arguing about that one, and I thought that was kind of the most silly thing, honestly.
What do they argue that he should have threw it to him?
Yeah, he should have checked down to Shakir.
They had a free rush. They had a fucking free rush corner. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, it's that one I don't get. That one I don't get. The one I was saying was, I think it was the same play that Romo and what's his face Nance said there was a flag on the field and there was a flag there, but then they're like, oh, he dropped it, so we're gonna pick it up. That was my favorite, because what would have happened if he would have caught it and then they just make up you know what I'm saying? Like that's what everybody's saying because the Chiefs get everything. But I'm like, man, why was there a flag on the field? There literally was no contact anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't read too much into that one right there, but you
should look at it. There was like
I heard him on the commentary.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, flag on the field, flag on the field." I'm like, "All right, well, what's the flag?" And then they're like, "Oh, incomplete, picked it up." That's what everybody said on the Twitter there.
Well, hey, for me, I'll say don't let all the noise distract you from the fact that we still got a great football game. You know, that's the one thing that I feel like people. Like, so many people woke up with, like, the hater gene this morning of, like, Patrick Mahomes won again. The world is over. This is the worst thing possible. I would just hate to have that mentality. Like, I get I'm not a fan of either of these two teams, so it doesn't personally impact me no matter what. But just seeing great football is good for everybody. And Patrick Mahomes plays a ton of great football, and so does Josh Allen. So we got a great game yesterday. It obviously didn't end like a lot of people wanted it to, but let's not let all the, you know, the BS distract us, you know, from we're getting some good shit right now.
Yeah. And he is saying what I said too there is like, that was what they were saying was like, there's a flag on the field. I'm like, bro, well, how do you, where's the flag coming from here? You know what I'm saying? Like there was literally nothing. I know there was the face mask one. There was, you know, there's a couple other spots in that one. I think it's just kind of overdone with the Chiefs games because we've seen it for long enough where, you know, those 50-50 calls, they go towards the Chiefs. I mean, there's not really any real way to go against that. I mean, the 50-50 calls are going their way. But I mean, there's not much you can do on those, but yeah, dude, they're inevitable. I guess they're just inevitable. I don't even think if you were to take like straight talent wise, what would you put them in the league? I mean, 5?
Which side? Wait,
Chiefs.
In like most
if
talented
you go like
team?
depth, most talented team. 5.
I'd be more. The quarterback matters so much, so I'd say like 3.
No,
like
I know.
3.
That's why I said depth and everything. Like if you like, they have what 2 All Pros, 3.
Yeah. I mean, I'd still say like 3. I think the Eagles are a more talented team, clearly, and I think the Ravens are. The Bills is kind of questionable.
That's what I said.
Either way,
would probably be my like, just if you look at it like Cook is significantly better there. You go down their list and you go down all these guys. It's tough because they just continue to win. You know, like that's the thing is they just win, and that's the tough part. It's a tough one because like Rashi Rice too. I guess that would be huge, but you almost forget about that. He's not even playing, and he's like a fucking Pro Bowl type receiver. Anything else you want to talk about from these games here? I guess we can look a little bit at the opening line for the game, and then I'll drop an NBA bet and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, pretty simply, I feel like I did the same thing a lot of America did last night. Was I saw you could bet the Chiefs at minus 125. I said, okay, let's do it again. Why not? I mean, come on. Like, it's Patrick Mahomes at a playable money line price in the Super Bowl. I feel like he just beat his toughest opponent in football last night in impressive fashion. And without getting too deep into the breakdown of the game, I feel like that Washington game went exactly how I thought it would in the start, where the Eagles dared you to take everything underneath. They're simply begging you to check the ball down, and they're going to control the game like that, and then they're going to run it themselves heavily. Washington, I did not feel comfortable being able to play a perfect game, check down, be comfortable, short yardage passing, to not have those deep bombs and get too aggressive. Patrick Mahomes is the guy built in the lab to destroy that kind of defense. Every little hole in the zone that Vic Fangio leaves, there's going to be a guy there. And it might be fucking Juju Smith-Schuster. And it doesn't matter. He's still going to catch it. He's got Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball. Like, when I look at it, man, I get I've been against the Eagles a little bit, although not really that much. I was on them heavy against the Rams. I've talked very fondly about them this season. Like, I think these Chiefs team is a great matchup for them, and I'm excited to be back in the Chiefs.
You mean it's a great matchup for the Chiefs?
Yeah, it's a great matchup for the Chiefs.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I think because I way I heard you, I'm like, oh, a great matchup. I'm like, I think it's a tough matchup here for those. Obviously, Chris Jones having that little ding up there. Hopefully, he's fine and all playing there. Yeah. The tush push gets you what, 3 of those, two of those touchdowns. So I'm like, can you imagine if you had just ran Barkley and he just gets 5, like a normal team outside of a tush push? What is your thought? I had to get this from a Washington fan. What is your thought from they can award you a touchdown?
Oh, I
wanted to hear your thoughts on that because I've never heard that in my life.
That was the knife in the heart. That was the worst part of the game. Because it's like these guys run this annoying fucking play that nobody in the world likes, right? It's the most boring thing in the world. And so, like, how do you try to counter this play? Like, sure, try to jump the snap. Try to time it. Try to be perfect. Yeah, you fail a couple times. I would have done it 5 more times. Like, I would have made you award them the touch. Because clearly, right, Washington is not going to stop them at the half-yard line on that play. Washington doesn't have a D lineman over 300 pounds right now. They're down paid. Like, they're not stopping you. Yeah, so keep jumping over. Make them award you a pussy-ass free touchdown. Why not? Like, that's never happened in history. Make them do it. Make the refs get involved. Because at that point, we're losing that game. We're losing. The game's over. We're not going to win. Make them do it. Like, come on. Like, that was like the most annoying part of the game because it's just like, obviously they're going to score a touchdown here. I think what Washington's doing is smart. And I actually didn't know that was a rule because my argument. I've never heard
of that. I was just curious because
I've always been pro. You should do that for extra points. That's always been my argument. If a game is tied, why not just try to jump the extra point every time? And but now we know there's a rule that would stop them from doing that. And that would be more fair, I think. But fuck that play.
Well, no, and the thing for me, just kind of watching it, and then I listened into Bobby Wagner's. I don't know if you listened to Bobby Wagner's interview after, where it's like, you ever like watch like where they all set up, and it's like, how are these dudes like on these guys' knees? You ever see how low like they're all like?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he's right or not. I saw it. I don't know.
I have no idea. Yeah. I'm not a player, bro. I haven't played since fucking high school. So, but yeah, I just thought I'd get that out because I've never heard that. And of course it comes into a spot where it's like, it's against your team. So I had to get it from your side too, because I've never heard that. But
no one has. They're freestyling, man. What the hell? Like
that would be one that they do for Mahomes, though, not for.
I know. Eagles, I know. I really wish they made him do it though. Like we were clearly giving up that touchdown. Jump a couple more times. Why not? Why not? Give him a free touchdown. Like no one in the world would ever respect that. It would put an asterisk on that win.
I gotta do my one mini rant, and that's gonna be all right. I get it on the field, whatever. What's his face for the Eagles? The big dude that like is their security fuck guy, whatever his name is. Why are you on the stage with the trophy?
I was thinking the same
what
thing.
the fuck you doing, bro? You think this dude's gonna beat the shit out of him? This dude's 140 pounds handing him the shit. Big Dom, go sit his ass down, bro. What's he gonna do? Beat up Sirianni? What are we doing here, dude? I literally don't understand that. You're on the stage with he was in the picture, dude. Like he was right direct, like he's as close to me as this was, like literally a foot. I'm like, what is happening, bro? Like,
he wants some TV time.
Yeah,
he wanted some TV time. That's all. He wanted to see his face in the camera a little bit.
I was like, bro, what are we doing? I'm like, I look at this dude. I'm like, do you think this motherfucker's going to beat up Sirianni? You think he's going to beat up A.J. Brown? You think he's going to beat up Jalen Hurts? What the fuck is happening here, dude? Like, I'm like, you're security, dude. What? Like, I think that's what his job title is. I don't know, but I was just looking and, of course, what's his face? Nadu I saw his thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Hey, Big Dom, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, and then I started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, why is this guy on the stage again? Like, maybe if there's like a threat, like a fan coming at you, but like you could see a fan running, like it wouldn't be like 2 feet away from you. And I'm like, he's a foot away from the guy. So that was my mini rant of it. I'm like, why is there security getting the trophy? Like he's literally could just touch the trophy there. So
yeah,
that was my one because I'm like, what the hell is happening here, dude? Like, what do you think is going on here? So I just had to get yours in there too because I thought that was just like it was kind of odd to me.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you pointed that out. I noticed at the end too, and I was like, why is he up? Like he's behind the owner at one point randomly, just kind of wandering. I was like, what's going on right now? But whatever. Fuck the Eagles. We'll get him next year.
Well, yeah, shout out to both teams that won. They're heading to New Orleans. Yeah, I'm excited to see Jane Daniels do it all over again. Shout out Zach Ertz for showing out against his old team. But yeah, it should be a good game. I'm excited to see some of these matchups. I'm sure it's going to get talked about ad nauseum. Maybe on Wednesday when we do a little NBA college, whatever we do, we'll be able to kind of throw in a couple early bets because I'm going to have a couple that I go and hammer in there for sure. But yeah, I didn't know Deron Payne was out. If I would have known that, I would have probably thrown a little bit more. I played some more Saquon in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Bad timing to miss like his second game in
ever,
years or
right?
something. Yeah, I think ever. Yeah. Unlucky.
All right, well, I know you got to get out of here, pop out early, so I will get to my best bet here for NBA tonight. I'm going to be playing this one pretty heavy just because I don't think you can really get a better matchup than this. Just going to throw this out. I don't think we've had any NBA bets to track. I'm just looking back through maybe one or two. I don't have numbers here. If we did, I've done some college. I haven't done NBA, I don't think. Updated numbers, 16. Obviously, we lost about 2-3 or what is close to that. I have it on my sheet somewhere around here. I got a messy spot over here. My 1 8x8 section of my place that I'm allowed to put up college-looking shit in the back, where everything out in the front has to look like an actual adult lives here. And
sure.
If I got to put more flags up, you can tell I have like 7 flags on the bottom down there. So we got to just keep it in my 8x8 section. But I'm going to be rolling with Karl Anthony Towns over 37.5 points, rebounds, facing off against Memphis tonight. It's going to be my best bet of the day for the NBA. It's a really nice NBA slate. I think it's like 8 or 9 games. So should be good there. Obviously, I like fading Memphis, man. It's like a 242 total. I should see at least 38 to 40 minutes from Karl Anthony Towns, as always. If you would have told me about 2 weeks ago, that I would be getting the Memphis Grizzlies only as 3-point dogs against this Knicks team, they're only 3-point dogs in MSG. Obviously, I would obviously be dumbfounded. The Knicks were kind of rolling. Towns, 21 rebound chances per game right now, 3rd in the NBA. Just been absolutely dominant, dude. He's been so good for the Knicks, averaging 25 a game. My biggest thing is rebounds. Obviously, Josh Hart's a merchant. That's why I always bet Josh Hart, double-double, triple-double, whatever it is. But in this matchup, I think it's a little bit better for Towns because he's going to be facing Zach Edey. He's going to be facing Santi Aldama. Like, those are guys that obviously I think he can dominate in the paint. Edey, probably a little different. He'll just shoot threes, which is fine. He shoots very well from three. But also just rebounding distance. If Edey's in the game, he's standing under the hoop, bro. And 4.5 rebounding distance for Towns versus 6.8 for Hart, I think is really important there. I know long rebounds, but if a guy's standing under the hoop that's 7 feet tall, I'm taking that guy all day than having to get a long rebound to get us into a break. But yeah, I think the minutes, those rebounding chances, and coming off of a really kind of shit game against Sacramento, where he only played 28 minutes because they blew him out by 30, and he still had 15 rebounds, 18 and 15 in 28 minutes, coming off of a loser against this bet. I really like Karl-Anthony Towns tonight to get it done for me. I'll be betting him pretty heavily tonight. So any thoughts, Stu, or are you ready to pop on out of here?
Well, I'll just say it's good to hear the words rebounding distance come out of your mouth on the show. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. You don't hear good analysis that often. And I fully agree with the logic right there. I've been betting a little bit of NBA trying to get my feet wet. So definitely going to be diving into that on the show pretty soon a little bit more. But love the spot right here. Ready to roll.
Yes. We'll get into NBA as we keep going here. I love the bet for tonight. Hopefully we start out the year 1-0 in NBA. That's obviously the goal. We'll still figure out how we're going to do these bets for NFL. I know I'm sure me and you will talk quite a bit going up into the Super Bowl, trying to get everything ready that way, and kind of when we should drop our bets to give you guys the best value, because everybody's going to start talking. Everybody's going to start getting those bets in. So we got to figure out how we're going to do that where we don't put it out too early, but we don't put it out too late. You got to play that mind game, and if we think the bets are going to move towards us or against us, this is the time to do it, right? We got to figure that out. So thank you guys for tuning in. Obviously, we appreciate all you guys' support as we keep rolling. Wednesday, obviously a little bit more NBA. Make sure you guys are paying attention to Twitter. I don't know when I'll be able to go on Wednesday. It might be a little earlier, just like we have today, but we'll let you know. So thank you guys. Quicker stream today, but best of luck, and hopefully we can cash our first NBA bet of the year. So good luck tonight, guys, and have a good one.